Hi. So this video is going to cover how to pull up progress notes that you or anyone else has done for a certain period of time. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need is access to this white part of your profiler screen. And if you don't have access to that, let's say you only have the blue rectangle bar at the top, because that's usually the most streamlined way to leave your profiler. All you have to do is click this little tab that says View, and on that tab, there's a checkbox that says View Profiler Tree, and you check that box, and then automatically you'll be able to see the entire screen and menu that I have here. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is right here where it's already highlighted as a default, this little slash mark next to this globe, you're going to right click and select reports. Okay, and if your reports aren't in alphabetical order, I highly recommend you setting them that way. It makes things a lot more convenient to find when you're looking for reports. And you just click the heading that says report full name right here, and it will alphabetize them for you. So I'm going to go down to the P's, and I can even just start typing progress notes, and it'll go down to the area that begins with P. Or you can just use your scroll bar on the side like this to get to the report that says progress note by individual provider. Okay, you do have a couple of progress note options here. Depends on how narrow you want to see. So if I just want to see all of my notes for one particular person, I can pull it that way. If I want to see my notes for a particular service, I can pull that report as well. But I like this one the best, progress note by individual provider. What this one is going to do is I can say, show me all the notes that I've completed from October 1st to October 30th, or even for several months in a row. And then I can go through, make sure I haven't missed anything. And I can also read and review my notes to make sure that they look and sound the way I want them to. Okay, so I'm going to do one click on that. It will turn orange to highlight it. And then you go down here to where it says Run Report, and you click that button. And the first thing it wants to know is the date range. So for what date range are you looking at? Now, because I'm in the active profiler system, I wanted to make sure I didn't pull up any real client charts. So I'm going to use a very small date range of just October 23rd, and I'm going to select October 23rd on my calendar, through October 23rd. So I only want to see notes for that day. Alternatively, I could use the arrow, the single arrow, to go back month by month, or I could use the double arrow to even go back a year. So just because my example is only pulling notes for one day does not mean you're limited to one day. You can pull whatever date range you would like. Just know if you pull a large date range, it may take longer to load that report because it's pulling more information. Okay. And I know that I was working with a staff with the last name of Beebe. So right here in the first box is where you select which staff's name do you want to see progress notes for. If you're a supervisor or if you're doing chart reviews, this is a really good way to do that. And you can pull up notes for any of your staff that you want to kind of read and review. Or you can just pull up your own notes. You can pull up your notes for yourself and just put your last name in. Okay, so you select the last name and you click the arrow and see her name is selected there. We only have one person with that last name, so you only see one name in the list. But for example, my last name is Stewart. We have several staff over the years whose last name have been Stewart. So you'll see everyone's first name in this list that has that last name. So you might have more than one choice here, depending on if it's a common last name or not. So I make my selection. I'm going to click her name, and I'm going to arrow over to make sure that her first name is selected here and her last name is as well. Okay, and then I'm going to just click the OK button. All right, and I can see her note for Tina testing. This was a practice note that we were doing in the system. I can maximize it by clicking on maximize and see how it makes it in a large readable format. Okay, there are icons up here I can print. I can, and let me minimize this a little bit. I can print this from here. It'll pull up whatever printer that your profiler normally prints to. And you can even click these arrows over. It will go to the next page. So I can see that this is page 1 of 4. So if I wanted to go to page 2, I could just click on the arrow here. And then I see her next note. And then I can just keep paging over and I can read whatever note is on that screen and go to the next page. So depending on how many notes you have, you may want to, you can print these out. Just make sure to shred them when you're finished. But it will show you the client's name, the chart number, and remember this is Tina testing. It's not a real client. The date and time of the service. So this was on October 23rd from 9:08 to 9:23. It'll show me who did it, and I can read everything that was written for that person. So I really hope that this little video was helpful for you. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me and let me know. Thank you. Hope you have a great day.